look, this turns into real rebel headquarters. So you want real media that's going to speak truth to power instead of being mealy-mouthed and calling everything even? Well, then you join us, tytnetwork.com/join. You make us stronger. The stronger we are, you like Jordan Chariton in the field challenging Democrats. He's the one that took down Donna Brazil. Thank God for that, okay? He's the one at the Dakota Access Pipeline. Give me 10 Jordan Charitons. Look at the damage I could do. Let's do some real reporting. Let's do some real news. When's the last time CNN broke a story? Never, because they don't want to disrupt the system. If your business model is the status quo, why would you want investigative reporters that bother the status quo? Give me more Jordan Charitons. Give us more reporters. Give us more hosts. tytnetwork.com/join. This is Rebel Headquarters. And then that's to change the media. And you know how important the media was, right? And then we got to change the government. wolf-pack.com. Volunteer today. Donate today. If you can't volunteer, give them $10 a month. Look, give them $27 a month. They're doing a drive right now. So all the Bernie Sanders supporters and all the Democrats who were lied to, saying, hey, don't worry, fall asleep. Hillary Clinton's got this figured out. The Democratic Party has it figured out. The establishment has it figured out. They were wrong. They lied to you. Come join us.
So a lot of people have been criticizing American Sniper, and a lot of people have been defending it. I happened to watch the movie recently. I think it is pure propaganda. Now, I thought the movie was well made. Clint Eastwood is a great movie director, but it is nothing but propaganda. Seth Rogen got in trouble for pointing out that it looked just like the Nazi propaganda inside Inglourious Bastards. But watch that portion of Inglourious Bastards. It's almost literally the same. But instead, you take out bad guy Nazis, you put in good guy American sniper, wave the flag, yeah, it's awesome, we killed the savages. And by the way, that's what they called them throughout the movie. Iraqis were savages. Wait, I thought we went to liberate them. That's kind of weird. It turns out we went to go shoot them in the head. So I will get to my criticism in a second. But first, Michael Moore with more. He's done more in the past, but now he's tweeting again, saying, tomorrow's Sunday school. What would Jesus do? Oh, I know what he'd do. He'd hide on top of a roof and shoot people in the back. Now, Michael Moore is more upset than others because apparently his uncle was shot by a sniper during a war, okay? And he's talking about snipers in general, not necessarily American Sniper, but let's get real, that's what brought it up. He also says, Sunday school. 2, what would Jesus do if he could be a sniper and save soldiers' lives by shooting, quote, savages in the back, okay? So I don't believe that Jesus would be in favor of shooting savages, but I could be wrong.
Ask. This is interesting.
No, I got to answer. Okay. So, Dinesh, this is part of the reason I want to do this because just like with Ann Coulter last year, I really want to know if you're on the level or not.
All right.
That's what I'm curious about. Because do you not know about the 1964 Civil Rights Act? Do you not know that the Democratic Party, led by Lyndon Johnson at the time, risked losing the South for decades, which they did, to pass the Civil Rights Act, then the Voting Rights Act, and that Nixon proudly took on the Southern strategy, which was now admitted by 2 different chairs of the RNC to be a racist strategy to get racist whites. And that's why now the Democratic Party, which used to be conservative, and the Republican Party used to be liberal under Abraham Lincoln, have flipped, and the Democratic Party is liberal, and the Republicans are conservative. So, hold on, and I'm not anywhere near done. So you say FDR and Mussolini said some nice things about each other like decades earlier. I don't know if you know this, they later went to war against one another. So
and after
you have
the
a
war,
history of telling only half the story in a preposterous, comical way.
Okay. All right. I think we're getting to the heart of the issue here. So if you don't mind, let's engage a little bit about it, okay?
Oh, I love it. Yeah, let's.
All right.
Let me just add one thing where I think you both agree on, which is the Republican Party used to be the progressive party in America. I don't think that's a secret. I mean, that's...
Well, the Republican Party was the champion of emancipation, anti-segregation, anti-lynching laws, and so on. Right, I want to talk about the civil rights.
So you liked them when they were progressive?
No, I wouldn't say that's progressive because, no.
I'm pretty sure that's progressive.
No. The progressives of the time were into social engineering, eugenics, forced sterilization. So this is a disguise. The progressives later
And freeing
claimed
the
the mantle.
slaves.
All right.
And freeing the slaves, just as an FYI.
The progressives freed the slaves.
Progressives wanted to free the slaves. They were in the Republican Party. Yes.
No, they were not. The term progressive was invented in the 20th century.
Conservatives liked the way things are. They wanted to keep their tradition and
So was
culture of
Abraham Lincoln a
slavery.
Republican?
He was a Republican and a progressive. I know it's hard for
Okay.
you to understand.
Yeah.
The parties switched. That's
Okay,
what he's
let's-
asking you.
that's-
No one else in the country disputes that other than you.
No, I do dispute it. Let me ask you this question. You mentioned the Civil Rights Act of 1964. Did more Republicans in proportion or more Democrats vote for the Civil Rights Act of 1964? Answer yes, which one? Which party voted in greater proportion for the Civil Rights Act of 1964?
Great, let's do it.
Which one?
All right.
Do you know?
So I believe that the
believe you
guy
know.
who pushed for the Civil Rights Act was a guy named Lyndon Baines Johnson, who was most clearly a Democrat. And at that point, the Democratic Party had a lot of racist conservatives in it. It's true. What led to the transition was the 1964 Civil Rights Act, where those Democratic racists decided, man, I love the Republican Party. I think I should go there. And for
Really?
you to say at that moment in history, that's the whole point, Dinesh.
Okay.
That's when they switched.
All right,
That's
so-
when all the racists went to your party.
Okay. Yeah. So I take it that this is a backhanded admission that far more Republicans proportionally voted for the Civil Rights Act than Democrats, right? Okay, you admit it. You try to camouflage it, but you admit it. Now, you say that that's when they switched. So let me ask you this. We had the Voting Rights Act in 1965 and the Fair Housing Bill in 1968. Let's take the Fair Housing Bill. Did more Republicans or more Democrats proportionally vote for the Fair Housing Bill? Which one?
So, Dinesh, let me try to, again, let's try this one more time. So, Republicans were more progressive. They were the progressive party, so they would push for things that were progressive until those events in that exact time period, Dinesh. And then a lot of them thought, under Nixon, and he wasn't president yet, and when he ran, he said, hey, I got a great idea. Let's get all those racist Democrats to join the Republican Party. Let's run on racism. And you know what they did? They then went on a campaign through Nixon to bring all the racists in the Republican Party, which I'm not admitting. The head of the Republican National Committee, two different heads of it, came out and gave a speech and said, yes, we transitioned into racist, and that was our strategy.
Really?
You to try to deny that is insanity.
Is it really? Let me
You
ask you
think
this.
the Democrats
Okay.
are more racist now? By the way,
No,
let me
hold on.
give you one piece of context. I got to give you context.
I just want to
Dinesh,
show-
you wrote a book saying that slavery wasn't about race in this country. You wrote a book where you said black people should give white people reparations for
didn't say that.
liberating them.
No, I did say that slavery in America did not start out in racial terms. The people tried to enslave the American Indians, lots of blacks owned slaves. So this is part of the real complexity of our history. But I noticed that when we're talking,
Yeah.
you raised...
Racism was a real mixed bag. I remember all those white folks being owned by black people. See, that's exactly what I'm going to.
The
That
black
is-
slave owners
that is
owned black
deceit
slaves.
on purpose, Dinesh. You do it on purpose. You say, oh, for a while we tried to enslave the Native Americans, so we'll say that slavery wasn't about racism. Do you see how that you're obviously misdirecting people, and you're doing it on purpose? It's not like white people were slaves. The overwhelming majority of slavery was black people enslaved. Why can't you admit the most obvious things? Because you have a political agenda.
No, it's
and
because...
what you want to do is support Republicans and
that's
their
not the reason.
current day racism.
No. I notice that every time I try to pin you down, you try to switch the topic or reframe the vocabulary. Okay? Now, hold on. You
said the guy who earlier in the debate said, now let's pivot.
you mentioned Nixon, right? Nixon's Southern strategy based on open appeals to racism. Let me ask you this. In 1968, who won the Deep South?
So, look, I get it.
You don't know.
No, I get it. No. His whole
do you know?
His whole shtick is during the transition when we were trying to get the racists, we didn't have them all.
Transition. You said it started in '64, and you said Nixon was the epitome of it. Nixon was elected in '68, and I'm asking you who won the Deep South, and you have no idea.
The Democrats owned the Deep South
They
for
owned the Deep
decades
South.
and decades.
Okay.
They lost the South. They lost the South because Nixon began that campaign of the Southern strategy. And Pat Buchanan on MSNBC admitted to me, yes, we ran it for 40 years and we had a good ride. So, like, for you to take the point where they started and go, oh, they weren't completely and utterly racist yet because their mission had not yet been accomplished is not a winning argument.
You're saying that I can't have a hairstyle because of your culture? Why?
Because it's my culture. Do you know what belongs to me?
Do you know it was in Egyptian culture? Are you Egyptian? Nah, bro, I'm not.
Are you Egyptian?
No, but doesn't matter.
Wait, where's Egypt? Tell me.
You know what, girl?
Where's Egypt?
Dude, go. You have no right to tell me what I can not read. Huh?
Where's Egypt?
Yo, girl, stop touching me right now.
Yo, girl, stop touching me right now. Come back.
Get off of me.
Come back. Come back. Come back. You put your hands on me? No worries.
Like, you know, make some shit because of what the hair I have? That's no reason, yo. I don't need your disrespect. I don't need your disrespect.
Why are you filming this?
Just for everyone's safety.
Oh, that's good.
Jamie, didn't you play this character
I know.
once?
Mine didn't have as long as dreads. This is awesome. I got a lot of comments. I'll wait till you go. That was.
That's a little much, right?
I think that video is funny.
It is funny.
It was just funny, and he's like, "Hey man, don't disrespect me." He's like the local student.
I have to give him. You have to give him credit though.
But
for him to like de-escalate.
He's fine.
the
He's
situation.
actually finding.
calm.
He was
considering what was going on.
He's kind of finding himself. You know, he's in college, but I don't. Is it really a big issue? I mean, I think she was just trying to play with him, and then I don't think she was taking it as seriously as we think she was.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
I think I'm.
Maybe I'm wrong.
with everybody here. Okay, so let me be PC here. No, on the one hand, I laughed, right? I mean, I looked at the video, and everybody's got a lot of drama about this, but I mean, that guy is kind of hilarious.
He's hilarious.
And I feel bad saying that because he's doing his own thing, right?
Yeah.
And we don't know where he grew up. We don't know what context he grew up in. But like yo, I don't. It's not me, so I'm amused by it, right? But okay, you do you, boo, as Anna would say.
We as humans, it's human nature to want to gravitate toward people who look like us, people that we can relate to. But like this obsession with not wanting a culturally diverse community does not make sense to me. It just doesn't. Like, how boring would society be? I mean, we live in Los Angeles, so maybe we're in our super diverse bubble. But I love it. I love the differences in culture. I love learning about different cultures. I love trying different food, having different friends who have different cultural experiences and backgrounds. It makes you a well-rounded person. If you just stay in your all white, all black, all Latino bubble, I don't know. I just feel like your entire existence is boring and definitely not well-rounded.
Well, so let me say two final things about that. One is that it depends on the person. Some people are conservative by nature. That's why there's more liberals on the coast of the United States. Because a lot of people born in the middle of the country, if they're more liberal and open-minded and open to change, they move because they want to get change.
Yeah.
The ones that stay at home, and these are obviously, there's a spectrum there as well, but a higher percentage of the people who stay don't like change. It makes them uncomfortable. So all the things that you're talking about that you think are wonderful, they think, ugh, I hate it. It makes me uncomfortable. So and some of that is racism, and some of it is just they are conservative by nature. So if you give them other cultures, they're like, no, I just want to stick with the culture I have. I don't want to go anywhere. And that's why conservatives tend to be more fear-based. Like they fear everything that's an outsider, that's changed, that's different, and they like to live in caves and hobbit homes. Maybe a bit much, but oh my God, you know, the government's going to do this to us, and they've got all the conspiracy, and the Muslims are going to do this, and the Mexicans are going to do that, and I'm so afraid of everything. So that's partly what drives it. But that was my defense of conservatives, by the way. Okay, but now to show you that they're actually wrong, historically wrong, factually wrong. The reason I say that is if you look at world history, in geographies where there is no interchange of different cultures because of high mountains or seas that are hard to traverse, you get less exchange of ideas and you get less advancement.
That's true, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not judging here. So it's not like I'm telling you the Samoans are bad people. I'm just saying, for example, right? But the level of technological advancement, as an example, is far lower. And so in places like Europe, where you had a lot of exchange of different cultures, and now there's a lot of wars too, but at the end of the day, they became a lot more technologically advanced.
It's all about that collabo. You know
It
what I'm
is.
saying?
It is. And it makes all the difference. So in the long run, it is clearly the better strategy to mix the cultures. Another thing we're done with today is the era of politeness.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
so progressives, don't listen to the Democratic Party who tell you to neuter yourself and be fucking polite, okay? No. Progressives we're not going to be polite anymore. You know what we're going to do? Something that the DNC has cock-blocked this entire fucking time, we're going to fight back. Okay, so you come here, you come to Rebel headquarters, okay, you become Rebel headquarters, tytnetwork.com/join. You join Wolfpack. We fight for a free and independent media. We fight for a free and independent government, free of the corrupting influence of money, wolf-pack.com. You join both those organizations, and we're done with politeness, okay? We fight back. And so, you know, I got to be honest with you guys. Look, as much as I've been, you know, saying all this stuff on air, it's my fault too. Look, I'm going to be like, when the mainstream media guys talk about how we curse too much, or we're this, or we're that, or we're impolite, and we're, you know, and it's not the credible way of doing things. You know, it hasn't held me back, right? But I did it anyway, but I felt like maybe they were right. I don't know. Are we, like, am I the bad guy? I kept, you know, so I don't know if you know this, but I had those doubts, right? And like, maybe we need to be more credible. Maybe we need to do this. Maybe we need to do that. And maybe that even did hold me back more than I should have been held back. I don't know. I'm being honest with you, right? And so when the Democratic Party said, hey, we should support Evan Bayh, I knew that was bullshit. I fought against those corporatists all along. But when they said, hey, you know what, maybe, you know, this strategy or that strategy, I kept thinking, am I missing something? Why are we letting them close all the polling stations in the South? Why don't we fight back? Why don't we close their polling stations, right? And I'm like, but maybe I'm a ruffian. Maybe I'm a Visigoth, a Philistine, right? And I don't understand their sophistication. Every time they told me Obama was playing three-dimensional chess, yeah, I fought back against it. You guys have seen all their videos, right? But I thought, well, maybe I'm wrong, though. Because you know why? Because I'm open-minded. I'm that goddamn intellectual who thinks, hey, maybe we should discuss all the options, right? So when they kept telling me, hey, no, Obama's eventually going to come back around to it. When? So, marijuana, if you wait long enough. Well, look, it turns out the people already voted this. Okay, it's legal all over the place now, right? Obama's still waiting. The philosopher king, right? Well, should it be a Schedule 1 or a Schedule 2? Get to it, right? And so, no, they were wrong. Whatever little I held back, I shouldn't have held it back. And we won't hold it back going forward. The era of politeness for the progressives is over.